Imagine, you're in the back of a class, trying your best to be educated to a subject, but your friends are around you, you have many different distractions, and you're just not understanding what the teacher's trying to say. Debates on the best place to sit in a class have been going on forever. However, the answer is simple. Are you determined to get good grades or not? If yes, then you'll sit close to the board and you'll do your best to absorb the lecture. If not, go ahead and sit in the back with your friends and have a good time. All class sizes should be shrunk down far enough so that you should be in at most a second row. Today, I'll be explaining why sitting in the front is beneficial to you. To kick us off into this, I'm going to start by explaining a fact that many parents and teachers should be preaching to their kids. If you are close to a supervisor, you are automatically less likely to misbehave. Therefore, if we have everybody in class at most the second row, kids won't be as likely to misbehave. I've recently interviewed Mr. Steve Doctor, who is a math teacher at Kindred High School. He said they are absolutely more likely to misbehave because if they're in the back of the room because there's no supervisors next to them and they have distractions and friends around them. According to a Minute School article, this is especially important to schools who give out computers. This makes sense because if you're in the back of a row, there's many open laptops around you, that would be hard to not look at those laptops, or people could be shopping or watching whatever. It'd be hard to focus on the lecture, not on that. And I'm credible to tell you about this because I go to a high school that gives out laptops. Sitting in the back of a class and somebody's playing a game in front of me, I always tend to watch their game and hope they win instead of looking at the front and absorbing what I need to talk about. Now that we've been through one point, let's dive into another benefit of sitting closer to the front of the room. According to a creators article written by Dr. Robert Wallace, it's clear that students tend to do much better in class when they sit close to the front because they become more engaged in the class and the lecture and absorb the knowledge better. Sitting close to the front of the room usually translates to a higher grade point average. If you choose a front row seat, that shows your instructor that you are serious about wanting to hear what they say. Teachers like to see students that are engaged and want to learn, and sitting in the front row is a simple way to show your teachers that you're there for a reason. Personally, I like to sit in the front of the classroom. This way, I don't have my friends around me being distractions, even though they can do that at lunch or downtime, whatever. I always like to sit in the front, get my stuff done, and just absorb everything the teacher has me to say because otherwise I'll have trouble learning on my own. Now that we've gone over another benefit of sitting close to your instructor, let's switch gears and talk about some other things that you gain from sitting close to the front of the room. According to an article from the Daily Eastern News written by Tim Martin, sitting in the front row is nothing but short of an absolute luxury. By sitting in the front row, you don't have as much to focus on, so you're not more likely to focus on what's around you. The stuff in the peripheral vision, the stuff you don't really think about but will catch your eye. When you're sitting up front, it's much easier to see everything. According to an article from the EBSCO host database, students sitting in more central parts of the class had higher percentage grades. There's no better central place to be than the front of the room. Today, we have learned about a lot of different benefits sitting close to the front of the room does for you. All teachers and professors should shrink their classroom sizes down to at most 2 rows of students. This way, kids will be able to answer the questions way more easily. Just imagine, if you have a question and the lecture is over or you need to stay after class and ask a question, you will always be the first one to the instructor if his desk is right there. Much less if you are in the back of the room, you'll have less time to get up there and the people in the front will beat you to it and you'll be late for something else. So it's very important that you should be sitting in the front of your room. Teachers and professors should know this, and it's a very essential thing to do if you care about your grades, to sit in the front, and all teachers and classrooms should be shrunk down to at most 2 rows. Therefore, every student has an equal opportunity to absorb the lecture as much as they can.